I got a question for you, Dave. So I was thinking about this the other day, right? So you played for multiple MLB teams, correct?
Yeah.
And you had children when you were like in your mid-20s. So what was that like when you were traveling, when you were going from team to team? I know you played for the Dodgers. I know you played for the Yankees. I know you played for the Mets, Mariners. Did you take your family with you? Were you traveling a lot, or did you just have a home base and you personally were traveling a lot?
All right, so full disclosure here. Clippy asked this off air. I started answering. I was like, no, let's stop. Let's bring this on air. So it's pretty cool to actually do this. First time having Clippy on to ask questions. This is fun, dude. But this is cool because other people are thinking this all the time. So the thing that separates baseball from all the other sports is spring training. Spring training is a completely different beast, and the way teams are organized are different than the other three major sports and every other sport, basically. So we have a spring training base in Florida and Arizona, and all the other teams, minus the Rays, Marlins, and Diamondbacks, are told somewhere completely else. So, and baseball players aren't from those places, right? So it's not like you live in New York City, get drafted by the Yankees. That's not normal. I know there's a couple guys that do that, but that's not normal. Plus, they've usually been on other teams between them and the Yankees. So when you're in these cities and the winter comes and you don't want to be in winter up there, and then you have spring training for 2 months out of the year down in down in Florida or down in Arizona, the weather's perfect. All your other teammates are already down there living somewhere down there. In the minor leagues, a lot of people forget it. In the minor leagues, when you get drafted, it's not like you just have spring training. You've got fall camps, winter camps, pre-spring training camps. So you're spending all this time at the complex. Like you're spending probably another month, and then you have a 2-month spring training at the complex down at your respected team. It makes no sense to go back home and live. Usually guys that do that one, just because they've got a girlfriend back home and they don't want to move, or they don't have the money to buy a place down or rent a place wherever the spring training is, so they're still living at home. But generally all those guys move immediately, live down in spring training because it's just so convenient. You're already down there most of the time, and then you go rent places wherever you're at. So as a veteran guy, when you have the kids, your home base is wherever you want to be. So Arizona, I was with the Cubs, I was with the Giants, White Sox down when they were down in Tucson, but still kind of here, and I'd travel down there. And they got traded to the Red Sox, and I come right back for the Mariners for 3 years. So they've their home base there, home base here. They go to school here and all that stuff, and then they come up for spring break or to see me in spring training, and then summer break they come out to see me, or maybe we get a weekend here and there. Outside of that, you don't see them for a little bit. Especially once your kids get to that elementary school age, you don't really see them. But before then, the wife and the babies come with you, and they come out and they spend all summer with you, and then you go back home. But yes, to answer your question, you don't move to the city you play baseball in. Nobody really does that. I know a few guys that do that just because they love the town, but usually it's because they met a girl there and they stay there. Most of the time, you live in Florida, you live in Arizona, Texas, or California, maybe Las Vegas. That's it. And then you just enjoy your wintertime and you have your family live there. And then they come with you during the summer when they're out of school. Did that answer the question?
That answered the question perfectly. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, James, you kind of like lived my career with me for the second half of my career once I had the kids.
Yeah. And that's why the kids were so well adjusted, because you were gone so long.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you have to and this is where a lot of the baseball marriages fail. You don't find a woman that can handle that. They find a woman that can't handle it. You're gone. They have the kids. They're stressed out. They're trying to raise kids and be a supporting wife while you're on the road and going out. And like you get to a new city, you go out for dinner and you go out for drinks, and that's just because you're with your guys. You're trying to stress relief. You're trying to just be while you can. And it's a very stressful life. Baseball wives have it unlike any other sports wives. So 162 games. So you have 82 on the road. Yes, you're not going city to city might as much as basketball you're kind of talking about, or as much as hockey, but you're gone for 15 days straight. Well, they do not do that in basketball. They do not even sniff that in hockey and basketball. So you're gone for 15 days. At the very least, your least road trip is 3 to 4 days. And that's a normal road trip for basketball. Like if they're on a 5-game road trip in basketball, that's a pretty big deal. For us, a 5-game road trip is a start. All right, so where else are we going? Where's the other 5? It's weird to only go on a 5 or 6 day road trip. That's becoming more common now in baseball because these schedules are just crap. But to me, a 12-game road trip, 15-day road trip, that was like, that's every other week.
Yeah, and you have to have more so in baseball than any other sport because you're gone so much longer. Your wife really has to trust you. If you're going to have those problems where she's worried about what you're going to do on the road, it's over.
Without doubt. And then that's a lot of it. You have to build that trust. Obviously, you build that trust in any kind of marriage, any sort of job where travel is. I mean, I work with clients where they're gone 5 days out of the week, every week. It's just in any job, in any sport, it's about trust at the very least. In baseball, you get to see your husband doing their job, and not just like, oh, they're at work, whatever. You don't get to talk to them. It's all boring. You actually get to watch and live and die with them doing their job every week. But a lot of times, honestly, what happens is, let's play when I was with Atlanta. My wife's out with me. I go on a 15-day road trip. They might come to one of the cities if it's a cool city. Philadelphia, they came out and then got to experience Philadelphia. That was really neat for them. Or you go to New York, they might come out to New York and see the trip while you're on the road. Or they go to family or have family come in while you're gone, and it kind of negates that, like, oh, they're gone all the time.
Yeah, when I worked at MLB.com, I had to handle a lot of, coordinating, getting guys to and from the studio and whatnot, and I'd have a lot of chance to talk to them. And very often I would be getting not only the player, but their wives, because anytime the visiting player came to New York, the wife was coming, or San Diego. Those are the 2 places the wives always wanted to go to: San Diego and New York. Shopping and good weather.
Well, San Diego, obviously. New York, because it's just cool. It's a different place. You want to go to the place where you want to go do stuff. Miami is always guaranteed. Family central because you get a hotel on the beach. Dallas, surprisingly, for some of the teams, a lot of the wives want to take a trip out there because it was a 4 seasons on a nice, like, it was like a resort. And with the lazy river and all this stuff, it was a cool place to go for them to chill. Plus, Dallas, from a city wise, is awesome. You're a little ways from the city. That's for sure. San Francisco back in the day was one where people wanted to go to. Seattle was a big family one. That both of those have kind of changed. Chicago is best. Chicago and Toronto are the 2 best cities. So outside of like a couple of those,
I've never been to Chicago. I got to check
Chicago, dude. Chicago. Oh, Chicago.
If I go to Chicago, can we go to see Ron?
Yes.
Love Ron.
That's my wife's father.
Coolest dude.
R squared. Ron Roth.
Yep.